This is Hale Road in Liverpool. It lays along the border of John Lennon Airport and the south of Liverpool suburb, Speke. The speed limit is 40 miles an hour. There have been several accidents here in the last few years. Most notably, 2 cyclists were killed in 2019 after they were hit by a drug driver who was doing 70 miles an hour in a stolen car. He was jailed for 11 years. Speeding is not unusual here. No speed cameras, speed bumps, CCTVs, traffic lights or police patrols. It is easy to ignore the 40-mile speed limit. But why is it especially dangerous for airport staff and air travellers? Hale Road has a junction to the airport by the so-called RVP entrance. Passengers and staff use this junction to approach the terminal building on foot. Many airport staff describe the airport as an island, as they cannot cross Hale Road safely at any point. Besides the obvious lack of traffic enforcement, locals have been lodging complaints that holidaymakers park their cars illegally in front of their houses to avoid airport charges. The council says it is a matter for the police. The police says it is a council issue. The airport says that it is outside of their property and not their business. Locals are forced to use makeshift barriers to protect their property and privacy. And it gets worse at night. Many airport staff and passengers have to maneuver their way across the road between vehicles passing by to be picked up by cars that are often waiting for them illegally on the double yellow lines. Those who live in Speke and choose to walk home have to cross the unmonitored and unsafe Hale Road. But what options do airport workers have when going home after their shift ended? The airport offers only one free of charge pickup point. Drop-off 2 is a 5-10 minute walk away from the terminal building. It is poorly lit and unpatrolled. Most taxi companies do not offer pickups here. Even though it seems like a short walk, after a 12-hour shift when it is cold and raining, it is not a suitable option. The express drop-off right in front of the terminal building costs £4. That can mean an extra £8 a day for airport staff. It makes sense now why they choose to be picked up by the completely unmonitored junction, which is only 3 minutes away. Whilst the airport does have road safety vehicles equipped with CCTV, there is no surveillance at the border of the airport. It seems to be no man's land.
Whether we work on the aircraft or on the ground, we can experience situations where there is lack of facilities to provide for our basic needs.
This young Italian woman who made herself a family in Liverpool is Cinzia Ceravolo. Cabin crew and former Equalities rep with a passion for LGBTQ rights and access to facilities for female workers.
Cinzia was a lovely person. She was funny. She was a proper geek. And she would do anything for anyone. She literally joined the union so that she could help anyone that actually needed it.
Cinzia was wonderful to operate with. She was always smiling, always helpful, professional, dedicated. As a captain, it was reassuring to have Cinzia on the crew.
The last time I saw Cinzia is when we got sent out of base together to operate from Manchester, and we were all tired. None of us wanted to be there, but yet she was still able to make us laugh, bring a smile to our face. We were in these long taxi rides in early hours of the morning, and she was telling me stories about her childhood in Italy and all these crazy things she did.
The last time I saw Cinzia, we'd had a meeting at the airport. It was the middle of the winter, and I said to Cinzia, I don't want you walking home, and I gave her a lift to her flat in Penny Lane, because if you enter the airport, you have to pay £4 additional fee to drop anybody off, and the taxi drivers have to pay that as well.
On the 22nd of August, after a long shift at work, Cinzia booked her taxi from the junction because she couldn't afford the extra charges. After she crossed Hale Road, a driver under the influence of drugs and alcohol hit her. She suffered severe head injuries. On Friday, the 26th of August, she passed away in the hospital. There are many questions unanswered. Why do the council and the police keep ignoring residents' continuous complaints, especially in light of all the accidents on Hale Road? Why does no one take responsibility for the safety of air travellers and airport staff? Why won't the council use their 10% share in the airport to pressure management into monitoring the junction? What must happen to prompt the council to make a difference?
My daughter was sent to operate flights from Bristol for 3 days. When she arrived back through Dublin, she had to take a taxi from an unsafe and unprotected road because she couldn't afford extra charges. But why did she have to pay to get home at all? She was there because of a job. She shouldn't have even been there. Her employer knew she was very short of money, but she was treated as nothing else but a payroll number. That is why trade unions are so important, and workers must form a common front and support their trade union representatives so that they've got a chance to make changes together. Now I must focus on the immense pain my family has suffered, but I will live to fight these battles.
One thing that she would want to happen is for the same thing not to happen to someone else. If anything can be done, she would want someone to do something about it.
We are standing on the border of Hale Road and John Lennon Airport, only a few feet away from where the accident happened. And even though we are highlighting on the issues that make Hale Road unsafe and the council must act upon immediately, there's one more question raised. Where does the duty of care of airports and aviation service providers as employers start, and where does it end?
Both of us strung out on lasers and coked out of our minds. Oh, whatever did the chauffeur think? You made me feel like the prettiest star, even though you were nothing more than a passing aircraft carrier in the night. Yes, you loved me till Tuesday, and now it's Wednesday, Thursday.